Welcome, pastors and ministry leaders, to this week's Marry the Vision V-Mail. Man, I have been so excited to share with you over the last couple, and I'm going to do this again today as we talk about this exciting ministry journey that you're on with Jesus Christ. It is truly the trip of a lifetime. My prayer today is that the content that we share, as well as every time we get together, the content that is shared is going to really strengthen your faith, that it's going to encourage you in pursuing your ministry assignment. It's going to lift your spirit if there were areas that you were down or disappointed, that even frustrated, that it would lift your spirit, because there are so many things that we share in common when we're on a ministry journey, which is why I'm so committed to pastors and local churches and ministry teams, because I am very aware of what it's like from planting a church to having the largest church in the community, to being able to care for large volumes, grow leaders, and then being able to travel and do ministry, not just around our country, but in various countries. And I'm thankful for everything that the Lord has allowed me to be able to experience. And I want to do everything I can to invest in you as a leader. So I realize, people watching, we've got some leaders that are, best-selling authors. We've got leaders that are watching, that you lead Bible schools. I thank you for what you do with the faculty and investing in future leaders, those who lead great churches, those who have planted churches, those who are in churches, and you serve in a department. In a new year now, you may have taken on a new role and it's challenging to you. And I realize that as people are coming through an exciting time where maybe they have had a season of time where they were fasting and praying, and God has really been stirring your spirit, my intention today is to be able to be very practical and talk about things that are going to help you address some concerns, questions, and have confidence to move forward. And so I ended last time we were together, and I want to revisit that question, and that's this. When you look at the journey that's in front of you in this new year, when you look at the journey that's in front of you, if you're seeing this and it's just a new season, you're writing a book, it's a new book, you're doing something where you're taking on a ministry department that you've never served in before. When you look at the journey that's in front of you right now in this year, how are you facing it? How are you facing it? I want to talk to you about three things that I've encountered in talking with ministers and ministry leaders over almost 40 years of ministry. And here's what I have come to discover, and I want to share those and be able to hopefully bring encouragement to you. The first thing that I hear when they're facing a new challenge is this. I hear from them, especially if they've been on a ministry journey for a while and now there's a transition. They've left a job and now they're going full-time in their pastorate, or maybe they're bivocational. They're taking on a new position where they served in a department in the church. Like, let's say they've served in the children's ministry or served on the worship team, and now they're coming into a new staff position. And here's what I hear. First thing, that they're not really qualified for the mission ahead. And here's why they feel that way, because I've asked them, why, if you feel God has stirred you, if he's put this in front of you, why do you feel like you're not qualified for the mission that's ahead? And here's what I've heard them say. Because of the weakness and the imperfections that are in me. Now, all of us have weakness and imperfections that are in us. They're still in us. Yes, God is working in us, and some of those are being worked out. But the reality is, anything God is asking us to do, whatever level we're at the moment, it's bigger than what I have at the moment. But that's the part of Christ working in you. That's the part of deepening your faith. That's the part of trusting him. You see, in the midst of these weaknesses and imperfections, now, you knew when you accepted Jesus Christ that you needed him. Here's what you didn't know. You didn't know that he needed you for an area of his service. You didn't know that. And when you found that out, it might have initially excited you. But as your journey goes on, you may now be in a position where you're feeling a little bit more unqualified for the mission that's ahead of you, the one that you're called to. I remember thinking through when we went from one service to two services, and I felt like I've never done this before. I don't know how to do this, and navigated through it, and God blessed it, and both services were packed. And then it was, now we got to go to three services on a weekend, and it was, oh my goodness. And so we navigated through the three services, and then now we got to build a larger building, and had be in a building program, which I'd never gone through, and I felt so unqualified. I'm like, Lord, I don't know how to do this. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 9 and 10, Paul said this. Jesus is speaking to Paul about him feeling because of the pressure that he's under and what he's experiencing, and going, okay, you know, this agent of darkness is given to me to buffet me, and I don't like it. And yet God said this to him: my grace is sufficient for you. For my strength, meaning Christ's strength, is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, Paul now says, because I know this, most gladly I would rather boast in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in needs, in persecutions, in distress, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong. Take that position today. When you don't feel qualified, the power of a living Christ who has authored this journey is there with you, and his grace is sufficient for you. Take the step, confront the fear, and press forward. Number 2, I've heard ministers and people say that the trip has been rough recently, and I'm not sure that I want to go any farther. They're even considering quitting. I've had ministers over the last few years even say, I've considered getting out of the ministry. It's just too challenging. I didn't sign up for this. Ministry leader, your journey has been filled with crashes and smashes. There's no doubt. All of ours have. I mean, if I could go back in time, I'd love to change certain things and do them better. But the place that I was at, that's the best I knew. And I operated on that, and yet it created some crashes and smashes that I learned from them. You may be thinking that this journey right now is too hard and that you're really not up for it. That's a lie of the enemy. My encouragement to you is don't you quit. The truth is, if God has called you to take this trip, he has given you the grace. It is sufficient for you that you can do all things he's asking of you, because his strength and his power is there for you. You're just going to have to recognize, in order to move forward, say, what are the voices or influence in my life that I'm listening to? See, to not move forward in taking this step on this journey is ultimately going to be harder. Proverbs 13 verse 15 reveals this: the way of the unfaithful is hard. That would be unfaithful. God's asking me to do something, and I'm not doing it, and I'm not doing it intentionally. See, it's better to smell a little smoke than to experience the fire. You can smell smoke along the way, but God will bring you out like he did Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and you will fulfill the assignment Jesus has entrusted to you. And number 3, what have I heard? I've heard this. I've heard excitement from ministers who say, I'm ready, but I'm not exactly sure what to expect. Well, I say to you, join the club. That's why this ministry journey is very exciting. Life is a journey. Ministry is a journey. And each one who's listening to me today, watching me today, each one of you, God has put a dream in your heart. It captures your heart. This ministry journey with Jesus is guaranteed to take you on a trip that's going to lead you to new experiences. As I stated in a previous video, this is going to cause you to travel through unfamiliar territory, which you haven't traveled before. Don't allow that to concern you. The challenge that's going to be before you and I when that happens is going to be, am I going to put a greater trust in God, in his leadership in my life to guide me when the steps are unfamiliar? Will I allow that? Will I allow him to guide me and not try to control the outcome? Because I'm not good enough or strong enough to do that. You see, as you and I are faithful to take that step, even when our heart's excited, but we're going, I'm not exactly sure what to expect. He's not going to show you everything. As you are faithful to follow him, you will experience new levels of growth in yourself. You'll experience new levels of maturity in you that you have previously not enjoyed before this journey began. Keep this in mind. God is always more interested in what is developing in you than what is happening around you. He's aware of what's going on around you. What you are becoming on the journey is more important to him than actually where you're going, because he's aware that things are happening. But this ministry journey is about serving the will of Jesus in order to serve a group of people. You serve him to serve them. Remove people from this equation and ministry loses its purpose. Your ministry is encouraging people to grow in their walk with Christ. It's helping people develop, and you're equipping people on their journey in serving Jesus. And on this journey, you're freeing, delivering people from the bondage of the enemy that is hindering them in either following or believing in Christ. That's how valuable you are. So let's look at an assignment the next time we're together with the disciples who were with Jesus. Remember, he said, let's go to the other side, and they encountered a storm. We're going to talk about that the next time we're together. Here's what I want to say to you. In whatever place you're in right now, whether you don't think that you're qualified to take the next step, you've considered quitting because it's been too rough, or you feel like you're ready, you're excited, but you don't know what is all entailed and you're waiting to figure it all out or for God to show you. He's not going to show you. My encouragement in all of these is this: trust him. He's the author of the journey. He's the savior of your soul when you cried out to him and knew you had a need of him. You still have a need, but he's got one too. You need him to lead you each step of the way, and he has assured you that he has. But he needs you because he's given you an assignment that connects to a group of people that you fulfilling your assignment is going to positively impact their lives, their families, your community, a church. Thank God for what you do. So I applaud you. Don't quit. Keep moving forward. Now, if this has been a blessing to you today, would you do me a favor? Would you please share it with another pastor or ministry leader? As a matter of fact, if you know somebody who's struggling right now, they look at this new year and they're going, oh my God, I don't even know what I'm going to do right now. Share this with them. Please, I'm asking you, share this with them. I got a beautiful email from somebody who is they're from another country, and they sent me this email to say, Doctor, which I'm not, but they said, Doctor, thank you so much for taking the time to make these. You have no idea what these videos have done for me and for my team. I'm grateful. That's why I do it, is to invest in you. So please share it with somebody else. Encourage them to go to our website and sign up to receive these, or let them know about our YouTube page where they can subscribe. But please share it with another pastor. I appreciate that. Hey, until next week, this is Ron Jutze. I am committed to your ministry success in Jesus Christ. Thank you for watching this video. Please take the time, browse other videos on our Marry the Vision YouTube channel. You can help us by subscribing, liking, leaving a comment, and sharing a video. Continue to pursue Jesus